Hi guys, Prairie Plant Girl here. I just thought it was time to give you a little update on the garden and what's been happening since we had that hailstorm roll through a little while ago. So it's been about a week now since we had the hail, and things are starting to come back. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and give you a look at what's going on in the garden. Okay, so we'll start over here. This is where I did my video of planting my cool weather veggies, and this was really coming into its own. I was starting to nibble on some of the things, and then we got that hail come through and just pretty much flattened everything. I have had a little trouble. For some reason, the kale isn't coming up, and I only have a couple of turnips, and this is the first year I've been trying to get some kohlrabi, and it just doesn't seem to be doing anything for me, but I'll have to replant the kale. I'm wondering, I can't remember if it was old seed or not in the turnips, so I'll go back and look at those here in a couple days. But the Swiss chard is coming in beautifully. The beets have recovered. You can see there where they were beat up and damaged, and some are flat right on the ground, but for the most part they're perking up quite well, I'd say. And the same with the spinach. And look, there's even one going to flower here. We've just been getting like either 30 degrees Celsius days or 15, and I think the vegetables are just as confused as I am about this weather, but you can see the holes where the hail beat through and all the debris on the ground there. But I mostly just tried to just use my fingers to fluff some of it away, especially with the spinach here because it was so thick. And then I just let Mother Nature run its course with these, and they've bounced back pretty nicely. Potato beds are both in full swing. They were just starting to pop up when the hail came, so a few of them got their leaves knocked off, but they leafed back out pretty quickly. There's just a couple of plants that are a little slow to grow here, but I had the grass kind of piled up a little high in the middle because we were getting just such crazy weather. I was trying to uncover some of the other ones, so these ones were covered a little longer, probably stayed cool a little longer, so they're just coming. But if you can see, they are all coming up, so we'll be eating potatoes before we know it. And the peas are doing beautifully. You can see I've put another row in. And they're all, I mean, you can't even tell. The second row was planted probably about 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I can't remember now, but because of the hail, they're all pretty much at the same stage of the game here, so not a huge difference in their growth. We'll see how that goes. And here's my celery. Now, if you remember from the video after the hail, it was really beat up and smashed, but even it's starting to come back. We've had some cool wet days since the hail. We've only had a couple of warm sunny days, so I'm impressed with how well everything's come back. Right here you can see this empty space. I had tried to grow pak choi for the first time, and I'm not sure. If any of you have grown pak choi, well, let me know in the comments below what you do, because not a single one even thought about coming up. Now, I did seed that right before the hailstorm. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe the weather's just been too cool. Let me know your thoughts. Here's where that true devastation occurred, if you take my opinion for it. This is the eggplants and the peppers. They're coming back. So here's California Wonder peppers, and they had most of their leaves smashed right off, so they're definitely coming back nicely. All I did with the peppers, the eggplants, and the tomatoes, you'll see later, is I trimmed off the worst of the stems and leaves that were still hanging off the plants. Anything that was just really destroyed, looked like it might bring in some rot or disease, I just trimmed those off and pulled it away. There was a lot piled up underneath them, and I just tried to pull it away from the base just to try and keep any potential for disease down. But overall, they seem like they're coming back. Even this, I mean, really, who would have thought that little stick? But that's a jalapeno, and if you look, it has leaves sprouting again. So I'm not sure with our short season what this is going to get me, especially if the weather continues to try to be cool and rainy this summer like it's been. But you can see these peppers here, like the jalapenos and the banana peppers, were just smashed to sticks basically, but they're all sprouting again. That's a little banana pepper that was in a cozy coat, so there's a few more larger leaves. I've rolled the cozy coats back up just to try and get these things warming up again. And here's the tomatoes. So these were in the cozy coats. They didn't get much protection out of them because they were rolled down, but you can see they're getting new growth on them too. These ones are the Romas. So even with the cozy coat, this one was just smashed down to a stick, but it has a few new leaves. I've got the glass on here. I don't know if you can see. Looks like you could see these Romas. They're growing back. This one actually has really come back quite nicely, so high hopes for that guy. And this tiny Tim, because it's so short, and even with the cozy coat rolled down, it did seem to get a bit more protection, so it fared the best out of all of them. Looks pretty good. Oh, can't see in this glass. There. So these are my Manitobas. Now I had the glass off for the hailstorm, so they got hit hard, but they're coming back. That's all new growth there. These were big, bushy, full plants right before the hail, and they were stripped down to pretty much nothing. And again, I just trimmed off what was damaged and pulled as much debris around away from the stems as I could. And because it's been so cool, I've put the glass back on them. More Manitobas. You can see the new growth down at the bottom there. This guy. So you can see which side got hit worse. But there's definitely a lot of new growth coming even on the left there. So doing all right. And the onions were just smashed into the ground. You can see all the brown stems all over the ground, and you know, they say once onions get bent over, they stop producing their bulbs. So I just left them, and I'm just going to be a little experiment to see what happens with them after this. But they're looking good from the top anyway. Now this is my radishes and parsnips. And you know, last year my parsnips I reseeded several times before they came up. Never had that problem before then, so. And I reused the same seed this year. I shouldn't have done that. So I have one parsnip growing there. And I don't think I can blame the hail for this at all. And the radishes, every time they came up, there was blackbirds out here, and they were nipping them off before they could even do anything. So I think the blackbirds got the radishes. Volunteer something, those tall spiky plants there. I don't know, I had some old garden debris that I had put in the bottom of this bed just to fill it, and then put cardboard over top, and then filled it with my compost and peat moss. And I'm not sure what that is. It looks almost like onions, I'm not sure. So I'm curious to see what those are that are coming up there, because they pushed their way through cardboard. It would have been soggy by now, but they pushed their way through. And there's some zucchini. There's another one over there. They were just starting to peek through before the hail, and that's what saved those. Zinnias, which took the hail quite well, have bounced back. And 2 pumpkins there. So again, they were just starting to poke through when we got the hail, so they came out of it fairly unscathed. This bed here is my corn, which if you recall from my hail video, the corn didn't get hit too hard, so it's all doing fairly well there. And there was some zinnias planted. Again, they seem to stand up to the hail quite well. If you're prone to hail, plant zinnias. This is beans now. Some are coming back, and I'm wondering if these were just starting to grow. And I'm waiting to see what's going to happen here. These were the ones that were up, and they're just stick still. But if you look at this one here, you can see there's a little leaf starting to grow on it. And a little leaf here. So I was planning on doing a second sowing on that side of the bed. So I think I'll put that in right away here, and then I'm just going to wait and see what happens with these. Give them another week or so, let some weather warm up. But definitely been an interesting start to this gardening season. We'll keep you posted on how things go, but right now most of it looks like it's going to bounce back from that hailstorm, and that's my update on what's happening here in the garden since we had that hailstorm roll through. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more like this, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Keep you notified of what's going on in my garden, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.